The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
This is Camu, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour, and it's the only show I listen to online here from Hawaii. Why? Because it's the best.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and privilege to have Mr. Camu, vocalist and guitarist of his band, of course. He was the vocalist of Naked, and he has returned after an 8-year hiatus with a new single and official music video, Empire State of Sound. Also, he self-directed this video, and Empire State of Sound was shot on the street of New York City and pays homage to both the city and the Finland-born artist's experiences. Plus, Empire State of Sound is the first single of a trilogy of songs and videos that will be released from Camu. So we're going to be talking to him about all this good stuff. So how's it going, man?
I'm good. I'm in Hawaii right now, so I'm not complaining.
You're in Hawaii, and I'm stuck in Kentucky with this cold shit out here. So, yeah.
I know about cold
shit
because I'm from Finland.
But, you know, I would love to come to Finland. I would love to go over to Germany. So many of those places, man. So
yeah, one day you'll do it.
I hope so. So let's jump right into this, good sir. Naked disbanded after 10 years. 4 albums and 2 world tours, and you stopped after, and I hope I pronounced his last name correct here, Bill Auken.
He was the manager of Kiss in the 70s, and he also managed Billy Idol in the 80s. I don't know what he did in the 90s, but then I met him actually in Finland, and then he came to our rehearsal space and checked us out, and then he became our manager, and we started organizing and working on the U.S. tours we ended up doing. But then before the first one, he unfortunately passed away, and we did those 2 tours with the band. But during the last one, it was pretty apparent that this was going to be it. And then once that tour was wrapped up, I liked New York City so much, and I had met my future wife on that tour. So then I went back to Finland, and then 2 weeks later I came to the States, and then I stayed. And here we are, 8 years later. So that's kind of what happened.
When he passed away, though, that had a huge impact on you, correct? When that's why.
Because before then, for many years, we'd been trying, or I had to kind of, brand outside of Finland, and we'd played, everywhere from, Japan and all over Europe and all of that, but it was kind of, playing in the States and doing something in the States was always goal. And by that point, we'd, done so much already. So we're kind of like, running on fumes, and, maybe some band members didn't believe in it too much, and so forth and so forth. I mean, the band was really, really, really good, but now looking back, I do understand why it didn't blow up more than it did. So I remember it fondly, but then after that I was not really interested in putting myself out there and doing it, and did other stuff in life. But at the end of the day, I'm still the 4-year-old kid who opened up Kiss Alive 2 and saw that gatefold and thought, what the hell is this? I want to do that. So I'm kind of making music, or not kind of, I am making music again, but on my own terms, which is pretty cool that I can, live where I live and write and produce awesome songs and then, send them to my brother and he'll track the drums on them and then I'll go film out videos. And that was the whole idea when I kind of started formulating what I'm going to be doing, was to put out a video trilogy because for some reason Naked always made shitty music videos, like really bad ones, because we didn't know what we were doing and we're kind of expecting people to know what they were doing. And it's kind of also in a weird time where, the internet had started and camera technology and software was, happening, but people hadn't grasped it. It was during the time that we weren't, walking around with iPhones and glued to them. So it was kind of a funky time. But now, obviously, everything from streaming services to YouTube has really manifested itself. So I just sought out to do something that I would, as a music fan, be able to enjoy myself. So I'm currently tracking the third song of the trilogy. So the idea of the trilogy was kind of to bring people up to speed, or those who know of me, show them what I've been up to. And the first two videos kind of covered, two pretty big stints over the last 8 years, me living in New York and then me moving to Hawaii. And the third one is going to be kind of, more looking into the future. So we're recording that right now. And then I've unfortunately come up with a crazy video concept for it. So hopefully I'll be able to pull that one off. And then after that, if, people want more and I feel like making it, I am sitting on about 8 years worth of songs that I recorded for myself. So maybe I'll write some new stuff, or maybe I'll rehatch some of them and put them out. I'm thinking maybe 3 at a time, because I hate the term EP. It sounds so like bleh. and also, LPs are for the real music fans, Yeah. So if someone doesn't like the first 2 songs, they're not going to listen to the rest of it. So I'm kind of thinking of putting it out in, 3 songs at a time. So yeah, that's at least what I'm planning to do. Then what actually happens is we'll have to wait and see.
When you stepped away, Camu, for the 8 years, did this allow you to recharge and maybe find that love again for music, or what?
Well, the love of music was always there because I've been writing all kinds of stuff.
Right.
But, maybe putting myself out there and carrying the whole thing, I didn't want to do that anymore because it just wasn't something that I wanted to do, just yap a bunch of crap to, get, attention for some music that you're kind of like half-ass behind. So I just didn't want to do that. But I'm into the idea of making new music, and the approach of making it is different as to where I used to write songs that we would be able to play live with the band. And now it's kind of different because now I can really do crazier arrangements and concentrate more on the lyrics. They don't have to be, written for a, 500 people rock club environment where it's like, come on, get off your asses and rock and roll all night. It can be other subjects too, because I'm older too. So that's kind of cool. And I for some reason, now's the time really into it. Maybe it's because I want to show my son that you can work on different things at the same time.
Yeah, sure. For sure. What's impressed or maybe excited you the most about making these new singles? What's caught your eye about it the most, or what's actually got you really excited for these?
I guess I excited myself in the sense that I wanted to, do it again, and I didn't think that would happen. So I was like, okay, let's do it, because for some reason I'm able to write songs and make them happen. So I like the whole process. And then the fact of making music videos to the tracks, which is completely new for me, I found myself really digging that. So it, you get a track recorded and written by the artist, and he makes the music video. So then it becomes very authentic to that person. It's it's their vision, it's them. So if that's something, if authenticity is your thing, then you might be into it, or what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. My version of rock and roll, the music that comes out of me. But also, it's just something that comes naturally to me, and I was putting off for a long time, so I wanted to do it again. If I don't feel like doing it next week, I won't.
And plus, like you said, you're doing stuff finally that you want to do, and that speaks volumes, man, over the course of time that you've been around doing this, that you're finally getting to do what you want to do. That's insane to finally now just to get to do what you want to do.
Yeah, it was always, you'd write awesome songs, then you'd work with some producer who's supposed to be good, and then someone mixed the track and it sounded like shit, or, had to deal with a bunch of band member drama because someone was in a bad mood and couldn't see the big picture, and yada, 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 or a shitty record company, or a bad booking agent, or a bad manager, or, the biggest thing I think now, being a little older, that sometimes back in the day, I got blinded by a bunch of other circumstances. So maybe it should just have been better stuff in the first place. So I'm trying to concentrate, which is a cool thing. I'm not trying to put, I'm not trying to write 12 songs during 6 months and demo them and hope for the best. I'm actually putting in time to go over these songs part by part. Plus, I'm writing them in a different way. I write and record them at the same time. I don't sit down with a guitar and write out a song and then record it. I actually write and record it part by part, which might sound a little weird to people, but it works for me. It keeps it interesting for me. And I'll keep a lot of the first demo takes of stuff just to keep the vibe going, and then work harder on other parts. So it's a new way of writing for me, because obviously, I am where I am on Earth right now and not in a rehearsal studio for 20 hours a week. So it's a new experience, so that also makes it pretty interesting for me. But yes, I do get to do what I want to do, because otherwise I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, and plus you have the freedom to do this whenever you want to. That's the cool part.
Yeah. So it's not, obviously I've got some type of deadlines to meet, but I can still work on it when I feel like it. And that's the whole idea behind it, why I was down to do it. And because, and some of the guys from Naked are, we all played on the first track because that was kind of a thing. And then some of them are continuing on the project here and there and so forth. But I'm definitely the main force behind it all. And then, I don't know down the line what happens if other people are going to get involved or not. We'll see. It's all up for, review down the line. But, it's cool to be doing it. In this day and age, there's not a lot of one-man bands with guys who help them out there in that sense. So we'll see what happens. But that's also the thing. I'm trying to do something new, at least new for me, with the whole video and the song and this and that. And I'm also thinking about down the line when I'm going to be putting out, 3 songs at a time, to do other type of genres. Not that I'm going to be doing any EDM, but it might be heavier, it might be less heavier. We'll see, because there's a lot of music. If I feel the need that the world needs to hear them, I'll put them out. I'm not going to be just releasing stuff just because.
This trilogy that you're working on, Camu, are these going to be on the new album when they come out, or are these going to be their own identity, just on their own little thing?
Well, yeah, I've been talking with a few labels, and if they want to put out an album, sure, I'll do it. But if not, I'm more interested in putting out, well, these songs are coming out separately, but after that I was going to put out 3 songs at a time, because I guess if you put out 4, that becomes an EP, and as I said, I don't like EPs. But 3 at a time, 3 months in between them, so maybe that will then become a collection after a year or something. I don't know, or an album. I mean, there's plenty of material, so at the same time, it's kind of hard to choose what you put out and what you don't, but we'll see. At least right now, I got plans to put out more music and keep it going, which also keeps, people coming back and checking it out, seeing if there's something new out there.
What do you hope the folks take away from these new singles, or message you hope they hear while listening to it, or just any of your music that you have out there right now? What do you hope that they get from it?
Well, if we look at it very, broadly, I want them to take away the fact that you have to go with the flow, because if you don't go with the flow, you're just fighting the universe, and you're going to end up on the wrong track, and down the line, you're going to be unhappy no matter what you do. I've gone with the flow and somehow ended up in Hawaii.
And I'm jealous.
And it's been a great ride the last 15 years, and I remember the last 8 of them, so that's great. But the years prior to that, I hear, was a lot of fun. But I've just seen so much, learned so much. Had 2 kids along the way, and the fact that I'm back to making music now, and I live in Hawaii, is insane. So maybe in that sense, an inspirational thing. And on another thing, I hear a lot about, there's no new good bands out there. There's plenty of new good bands. The fact that we don't carry them so close to the heart is just because we're not saving up money for an album, going out in the cold to buy it, and then actually listen to it and really dig it and create memories to it, because, we live in a playlist society where we'll just press next, because we're bombarded with shit all the time. So I'd say if you really like, well-arranged, awesome rock and roll, you should check out my stuff, because that's the only reason I'm doing it. It's not because I want to prove to everyone that I'm the meanest motherfucker around. It's just because I really enjoy making the music. Mm-hmm. So if you're into that, I'd appreciate if you, gave it a spin, or a click, rather.
How much growth musically have you seen yourself go through up to the release of these new singles, or just has it been more of a personal growth for you?
Yes, because I've had to do a lot of I've been self-reflecting through the whole process of getting up and going again, pretty much what went wrong, why wasn't it good enough, some of the stuff was really awesome, but why didn't it work out, and so forth and so forth. But at the end of the day, none of that matters. It's, I got music ringing in my head again, and if I don't record it, it sticks in my head and I can't do anything, because I've got some, drum fill or guitar lick or some melody stuck in my head. So it's more of recording it to keep sane. And it's coming out again. It's coming from somewhere, so I must be in some type of good place in my life. And, being able to record it and make it into songs, kind of recording my own history as I go through life, that's a cool thing. A lot, actually.
What can fans expect at a show from you when you are going to take this out on the road? What are they going to get when they come and see you live?
Nobody's complained ever. They've all said, holy guacamole, this is awesome. It's very high energy, interactive, doing the thing with the audience, high energy, pretty much getting up there and doing the show that I would want to go see. And that says a lot, because I don't go to a lot of shows anymore. I do, to good ones. So giving it my all, playing awesome, fast rock and roll the way I see that it should be done.
Now, I know that you said that you had the Kiss Alive 2 album. That made a huge impact on you, but was that the spark for you that said, yeah, that's what I want to do? I want to do this right here, and I want to become a musician?
Yes. That's how easy it was. It's funny because my brother, who plays drums with me, is my older brother, and and it was his album, and I was 4, and that was it. I knew that I wanted to do something. I mean, not necessarily, maybe at the moment, sure, I want to bat wings and to stick out my tongue and shoot fire, which I still want to do, but Gene's doing it so well, so nobody else can. But it's, you know, the energy, the whole force, you know, they were superheroes back then. So I was just drawn to that. And then I guess something clicked and music started pouring out of me. And I think I started writing songs when I was 12, because to this day I can't play anybody else's songs. I don't know any cover songs. That's why I started writing music, in order to play stuff, really. And then I became a singer because back then I was the kid in the garage band that could scream the loudest over the guitar amps and the drums because there was no PA. That's how that happened.
They always find them. They always find a kid that can do the most oddly things. Trust me.
Yeah, and today my own 4-year-old is doing a really good job of becoming a heavy metal singer, I'm sure.
There you go. Put him on an album with you. There you go.
Yeah.
Is there a country that stands out or shocks you that you get support from, or your music's even played? Do you have that possibly?
Yeah, I mean, it gets played in, you know, because I see where people play it, and it gets played in Germany, which I understand, and in Finland, of course. And then there's random countries here and there, like Brazil and stuff like that, and Canada. But I think it's super cool that it gets played the most in the States, because even though there's a lot of good stuff about Finland, I think the USA is the greatest country on earth. It's awesome, super badass. And there was a day in my life where, and this is no bullshit, this is true, where I had my guitar and the $1, and this is the only country on earth where you can work yourself up if you have determination. Mm-hmm. And I was able to do that. And I'm very fortunate that I was able to do that and got the chance to. And I think it's great. And all my favorite bands, even though I love the Beatles, but all my favorite bands have come from the United States. You know, Kiss, Aerosmith, Journey, Tom Petty, Van Halen. They all come from the States. And I've always gravitated more towards American music than British music, even though I think Queen and Zeppelin obviously are fantastic, and Elton John and all of those greats. But there's always something about American music that I've been drawn to. I don't know if it's a personality thing or whatever it is, but yeah. So I'm just stoked people dig my music in the States.
You know, I'm 39 years old, and I'm a metal guy to the end, through and through, and horror punk guy through and through. You know, and I absolutely love music, and I'm now, and I hate to say this, but I'm now sadly diving into more of Queen's music to discover those guys out even more.
It's musicianship on some stratospheric level that's just insane.
Yes.
It's the only band in history where all 4 members have written a Billboard #1 hit.
They are so fucking talented. It's just, oh man,
yeah,
when you listen to their music, I've got to say this, and people can laugh at me. I don't care. This is my opinion. If you listen to Queen and you can't get taken away by listening to their music, you know, just getting away, just relax and just let it take you away somewhere, there's something wrong. Badly.
Well, yeah, plus the fact that Queen's music spans over so many different genres.
Yes.
And that's kind of what I dig about them, that it's all kinds of different music. And just fantastic. And still, to this day, obviously, clearly stands the test of time. And I'm never going to be on any, you know, level like that. I'm just stoked that I get to put out my music and write songs and that people dig them. And having said that the new stuff is shit. So that's cool.
That's a plus.
Yeah, there's always a plus, you know.
Camu, how can folks stay in touch with you, buy this merchandise when it comes out, tour dates, things like that. And are you going to plan on putting this out in 2019, maybe, possibly, for the album?
Yeah. I'm putting it out in 2019. You know, I am definitely. First, my thing here I got to do is I got to go film this third video. That's going to be insane. And then I'm going to be putting out stuff. My website's camumusic.com. It's got links to all of this stuff. Or you can find me on Facebook and Instagram with the handle Camu Official. Or you can go on YouTube and put in Empire State of Sound or The One You Leave Behind. They're awesome videos. You'll get a kick out of it. And if you dig it, you can reach me. I'm not some hermit in the jungle, even though I am. I like staying in touch with people. So get in contact, As I said, we used to play gigs, and now we're, pimping for likes.
And that's what it's all about. You get it. And I love to see when bands say, I want to talk to my fans. I want to talk to the folks that put me where
100%.
I'm at.
I mean, there's so much stuff out there. If someone takes the time and they're contacting you, that means that your music has touched them, and that's the reason you make it, so you can form a friendship.
Exactly.
And to have that bond. So that's cool.
Exactly, my friend. Camu, before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for my show?
100%. This is Camu, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour, and it's the only show I listen to online here from Hawaii. Why? Because it's the best.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please go out and check out our Facebook page. It has all of our podcast links, YouTube links on there. Check out all of our interviews. Plus, go out and check out Camu's site. Check out his music, stuff like that. Trust me, you won't be disappointed when you listen to his music, folks. So, Merry Christmas, Camu. Happy New Year. And I hope you have a successful 2019, my friend.
Likewise, I am sending you awesome vibes, lots of good health, success, and fun times. And go with the flow.
Thanks, Camu. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Talk to you soon.